Hi all, PlanetSide Agent here. Today we're going to do boil tests for the BCB Crusader MK2 cook set. So if you're interested, stay tuned. Okay, let's get started. Like I say, this is part 2, the boil test. I do have part 1 and part 1.5 videos which I could discuss the cook set itself. And I'll have links to those 2 videos in the description if you want to take a look at them. Also, I have playlists for cook sets and stoves. So I'll have links to those playlists in the description also. So to get started with, I'm going to do boil test with the Trangia and one with my 2-ounce round aluminum tin burner. And so I'm going to go ahead and get things set up to do the boil, and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm ready to give a test on this one, and this will be the Trangia burner. I've got 16 ounces of 55-degree water, and then actually this time I'm going to weigh the fuel so we can see how much we're actually using. And so this is starting out with the weight of the stove at 134 grams. So we'll measure when we're done to see how much fuel it took to boil the 2 cups of water. So the other thing I'm going to do is, I mentioned before I was going to work on a lid for this, so I started playing around with it. It's got a lot of work to do, and I'm not too sure I'm going to stick with this one that I made out of the aluminum flashing. So I might go something else, but this will do good enough for this boil test. So let's see. We'll go ahead and get her started. I'll go ahead and let the Trangia bloom before I put the water on. Yeah, this thing's a little hokey, especially with the thermostat probe. And it looks like it's starting to bloom. That's one nice thing about these Trangias, they bloom pretty quick. So let's go ahead and call that good. And again, I'm kind of curious about how well this is going to work, since we're only about 3/4 of an inch between the burners or the jets and the bottom of the pot, which is not, the 1 1/2, 1 1/4 sweet spot for most alcohol burners. So anyway, let's go ahead and throw this on. We'll hit the timer. We're off. So I'm just going to turn this off until we get a little closer to a boil, or if I think of something else to add. Normally I drop down and let you look at the flame pattern, but since this is pretty much all encapsulated here, you're not going to be able to see much of the burn pattern, so I'm not going to do it. Also, I meant to mention earlier, I'm going to call boil at 211, because sometimes it takes a little extra effort to jump over to make that 212, and I don't think that really, that extra time, I think, really kind of throws the boil time off, especially since usually 210, 211, the thing's boiling like crazy. So if you're out in the field with no thermometer, you're going to stop probably when it hits 210, 211, which is all plenty good enough. But like I say, this isn't a total scientific test, but close enough for my use and hopefully yours too. Okay, getting close. We're up to 207. I hear it bubbling away in there. So we're getting pretty darn close to the magic 211. But like I said, if you're cooking in the field, you'd be calling it good right now, which was at about 8:10. Okay, 10:13. So let me go ahead and shut him up. Take this off the fire. It's roaring now. And I'm going to go ahead and snuff this out. The only problem is you're going to have something so that you can, come on, come on, lift this up so you can get the snuffer on it. Oops. I never am able to do that. There we go. Come on. There. Jeez. When you want to snuff. There we go. Now we're done. Never had that much trouble shutting one down, but like I was saying, the only deal with any of these pot stands, and this isn't the only one, the one that the cross member one that you can use on the Trangia, you're still going to have to knock those off somehow so you can get the snuffer on there. So that's not necessarily this burner wasn't designed for the Trangia, but that's okay. It tends to work. It's just kind of snug right now, but anyway, so that's the first test. I'm going to go ahead and let it cool down, obviously, before I measure how much fuel was used. In the meantime, I can clean things up and start getting ready for the next burner, which is the 2-ounce round 10. So I'll get back to you. Okay, just another note with this: when it heats up, it's when it heats up, it expands, so it's a lot tighter. So you have to be aware of that when you want to flip this up to use the snuffer. Okay, I'm all set up for the next burn, which will be the 2-ounce round cosmetic tin alcohol burner, and it's starting at 69 grams. That's including the weight of just the base, not the lid. Let's go ahead and take this off. Drop this in, and this fits very nicely in here. It's still a little warm. I don't know if that'll affect the numbers or not. Let's say not. Oh, yeah, that's interesting. The water temperature is hovering between 55 and 56 on the water. And again, 16 ounces now at 56. So 1 degree different. Let's go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and put this on first. Light it off. Doesn't take long for these. Like I said, it's a 2-ounce round tin with a coil of carbon fiber in there. So let's go ahead and get this on. Hit the button. Oh, back to 55, so we're good. Didn't take long to warm up. Let's see. Make sure everything's good to go. Didn't mess anything up. Looks like everything's good. So we'll go ahead and, as before, I'll turn this off so you won't have to suffer watching this thing to boil, the old watch pot. Okay, I'm back. We're up to 2:04 and 6 minutes and 9 seconds, so substantially faster. We should be, I can hear the water starting to get busy in there. So 2:08 should be any second now. And there we go, 6:30. Okay, as before, let me put this aside so I can blow out the snuff it. Okay, I just want to get that out so I could get an accurate or close weigh. The downside, well, I don't know if it's the downside, it's just a fact with these round tin burners. The only really way to snuff them out, well, other than making a dedicated snuffer, is to blow them out. As you can see, it works the best. I have in the past, I made a couple of these different, I got a 1-ounce one also, and when I tried to snuff it out, I thought, oh, I'll just flip the lid upside down and drop it on it, and that snuffed it out. Well, and one time it did, but another time it didn't, and I still was getting flames out around the oops, get over here, out around the lid, which melted the little gasket in there. So not a good idea. There's no real way to. The best way I found is just to give it a good, healthy blow. And since you've got the carbon felt in there, you don't have to worry about blowing and sloshing, alcohol out. If you tried to do that with just an open tin and blew on it, you'd probably blow the alcohol out, and then you'd have a real mess on your hands. So, okay, I'm going to clean things up and let these two burners cool down so I can see how much alcohol we used. Okay, the burners have cooled down, so let's go ahead and weigh them. Here's the Trangia. That's 111 grams. All right. this guy, 43 grams. So, got them weighed out. I'll do the math and then give you the numbers in a summation. All right, I have the numbers. I got to thinking, the Trangia was slower because of the distance between the pot and the top of the burner. And I thought, I'm going to run another burn test. And I found this grate that's off of a computer fan. And it'll fit on here nicely, so I can set the pot up here and get the distance up a little bit. So I'm going to do that burn next. But for those that aren't interested or don't want to stick around, I'll give you the summary here. And then, like I said, if you're interested, stick around and I'll do a burn test in that configuration. But just for standard configuration, we had 16 ounces of 55-degree water, and it boiled in 10 minutes and 13 seconds, and it used 23 grams of fuel. Okay, for the round tin, we started with the same thing, 16 ounces of water, 55 degrees. It boiled in 6 minutes and 30 seconds, and it used 26 grams, so 3 grams more for this one, which is fast. And I think that's been proven out in many other tests that sometimes the slower burns are more fuel efficient. So you kind of balance between time and economy, much like when you drive. If you put your floor to the accelerator and drive fast, you'll get there quicker, but you'll burn more fuel. If you throttle back, drive slower, it takes you longer, you use less fuel. That looks like that's just, it must be a universal thing. So, but anyway, so yeah, that's I'll just say that's the end of these two burn tests. Right now, I'm not going to do a pellet. I was going to just burn pellets in here to see how they burned. I wasn't going to really burn test. I might save that for another day. I just don't feel like doing that right now. So if you're interested in the next burn, go ahead and stick with it, and we'll get started on that. For those who are leaving, thanks for watching. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and reset all this up, measure the fuel, get the water and all that, and I'll get right back to you. Okay, I think I'm ready. I've got 16 ounces at 55-degree water. I got the stove fueled up. This time starting with a little less fuel since I just eyeballed it. This 125 grams in the Trangia. Okay, when I measured it out, when I put this little grate on top of here to raise it up, this will bring it up to 1.5 inches, which should speed the boil time up quite a bit. Let's go ahead and light this off and get this started. Oops, come on, match. Oof. All right, put the grate on and also give it a little bit of time to start to bloom. Ouch. Since it's high enough off, I think this will be fine to put it on there. Yeah, there we go. Oops. I think it bloomed. Okay, let's get it started. I think I know this is going to boil faster. The thing I'm curious about is how much more or less fuel by raising it up, whether it's going to make a difference there. So that'll be the interesting thing. So while that's going to boil, waiting to boil, I'll turn this off and get back to you. Okay, we're getting close. About this 208 at 620. It's about the almost exact performance of the whoop, there we go, 626. All right, well, if you didn't believe that there's such a thing as a sweet spot, this should prove it. So, let me shut everything down so I can weigh the fuel. Uh-oh, I gotta knock this off. Ah, shit. Ouch, got a disaster going here, people. Pretty poor performance on my part. Ah, come on. Yeah, it's gonna ruin my measurement. Let me shut this. Okay, I got everything shut down. I wouldn't have been in such a panic to get everything shut down, but I didn't, I was trying to get a fuel measurement and I wanted to get as accurate as I could, but that was pretty shaky. I think normally in the field I wouldn't worry about it. I would have taken my time to get everything all shut down. Probably the best approach would be to, in the field, is just leave this all the way out and then just use this. That way you just have to kind of move him off to the side, and then you can throw the snuffer on there. That would have been the better approach. So poor performance, but it was a learning for me. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and clean a few things up. I got to let this thing cool down so I can weigh the fuel. But like I said, if you don't believe in the sweet spot, that was proof, because it was quite a bit. Because you're looking at 1013 at 3/4 of an inch gap and 626 at 1.5 inches. So, but let me clean all this up, and then we'll do I'll weigh the fuel and we'll do a summary. All right, I went ahead and weighed this off camera just to save you the suffering through that. But it was 99 grams, so that came out 26 grams to boil, the same amount of fuel it took for the 2-ounce tin. So that's interesting. I'm surprised that having it lower down, it used less fuel. I don't know, maybe because it was higher up, it was able to get hotter and vaporize more fuel and make up for that 3 grams. Now, how much is 3 grams of alcohol? I don't know. I guess I could figure some kind of measurement to see volume, but anyway, I'm not going to do that right now. So it looks like it's going to cost you 3 grams to get it up, but if you want to cut your boil time down, you might go with something like this. Add this to your kit, and just use that instead of this thing. So that's just an option. So several different options for me. When I build this kit out, which I showed you just some things you could do with this to load it out, I'm going to use this one because it gives me more space in the bottom of the stove. And another point about this too, at least on mine, it may vary, your results may differ, but this fits in there pretty snug, so it's a little bit of effort to get it out, but when it's all cooled down, that's not that big a deal. Those were the burn tests. Hope you enjoyed the video, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.